We aren't saying all lives matter because all lives are not being affected in the same way. That's why we're not saying that. Black people are being affected. And we are standing up for ourselves to say we matter.
I'm glad you asked that question.
In 2013, 2014, I saw an analogy online. I guess you would call it a meme, where the firefighters show up to this neighborhood, and a house was on fire, and somebody was standing outside one of the houses, that wasn't on fire, and it was saying all houses matter, as the firefighters were trying to put out this fire of the house that was essentially burning down to the ground. So if you think about that in the same vein as the Black Lives Matter movement, it's pretty much the same thing. Like I'm just not seeing in the media white passing individuals being murdered by police. It's not happening at the same rate. So when you say all lives matter, that's problematic.
Like, we're not saying all lives don't matter, but the reason why we're just saying Black Lives Matter is because we have to continuously show people and tell people that our lives matter in order to avoid being discriminated against.
There's still a lot of inequality, stereotyping, misrepresentation, all of that.
Well, I'm not racist. I think that all lives matter in response to Black Lives Matter, but it's like, it's not just you. Like, this isn't just about you. This is about systemic issues.
I talked to my dad about this one time, and I basically, the way I would answer this is just like that. It's sort of a game of semantics. That interaction. If the two movements were people saying those lines to each other, hey, Black Lives Matter. They're not being treated like they matter, and we want them to. Black Lives Matter, right? The other person responding with all lives matter, they're not actually responding to what the first person said. They're not responding to the idea that Black lives aren't being treated like they matter and they need to. What they're responding to is something more sinister, which is that the Black Lives Matter movement is trying to say that only Black lives matter, and that only Black lives are deserving or in need of support and resources, or what they might call special treatment, preferential treatment, something like that, right? When really it's the preferential negative treatment that we're trying to get off of people of color that they're trying to say when they say Black Lives Matter.
If all lives matter, then the educational system would be enough that every child wouldn't be left behind. If all lives matter, unarmed Black men wouldn't be shot. If all lives matter, then the legal system would be changed, where our prison system wouldn't be heavily on African Americans for a misdemeanor. If all lives matter.
With systemic issues, it's, institutional racism. It's in, how things like loans are given. It's how healthcare is provided to different populations and the disparities there. It's about how neighborhoods are developed.
Saying that all lives matter, when our actions speak differently, it says that all lives truly don't matter.
When you hear all lives matter, really what you're hearing is people don't want to say that Black lives matter. Because they're saying that, well, we're humans, and so it's not just about being Black. Shouldn't all lives matter? In this struggle, if all lives matter, there wouldn't have been no slavery. If all lives matter. If all lives matter, the deaths from 2020 wouldn't have happened.